Hey guys, welcome back to JG Whips. Well, here I am in the garage all by myself. You can tell the garage is empty. There's no car behind me. And why is that? Well, the car is back in the shop. For those of you who watch my channel, we're talking about my 2010 BMW E93. It's a 328i convertible, and I've been documenting my used BMW ownership journey. I wanted to be very transparent about this car and its ownership, what it's costing me to take care of it and maintain it and keep it on the road. So I've been sharing video updates on a very regular basis as things happen with the car. And you might recall from my last video, when I had it into the shop, one of the things that was noted by my mechanic on the invoice was that the transmission was shifting hard. So there was the recommendation, based on the amount of miles the car currently has, to do the transmission fluid flush. We're going to put new transmission fluid in it, a new transmission filter, and hopefully that will take care of the problem of the rough transmission shifts. So the car is in the shop now, and I'll be back with an update shortly on, one, the cost of having that repair done, and two, is the car now shifting smoother?
All right, so as you can see, I'm back in the car. I just picked it up from my mechanics, and I didn't really have a chance to drive it too much. It's a very short ride home, and so the car didn't even have a chance to warm up yet. So as far as my assessment as to whether the transmission fluid flush, new transmission fluid and new filter were worth it, it's going to take some time to tell. So let's go out for a test drive and see what it's all about. But what I can tell you first off is just putting the car into gear felt smoother. Now, maybe that's just a placebo effect of knowing that it just had this service done, but it did feel like the shift knob was a little bit easier to move around. Now, that's one of the things with these new cars that I really don't like the direction that things are going in. The shift knob is something that, even though I don't have a manual, I'll rest my hand on quite a bit. And a lot of the newer vehicles have done away with those. They just have buttons now. No longer do you have a shift knob. And so, these are just some of the things that are happening that, I feel like I'm that old guy, get off my lawn. I look at these cars and I'm saying, all these buttons are going away. The levers are going away. It's all screens. And, we're all going to be driving 5,000-pound computers on wheels. It's not a direction that I'm excited about, but, luckily there's still some cool enthusiast cars out there that aren't computers yet. And so we'll embrace those and continue to drive them. But let me go through real quick some notes I have. So this is the invoice. Like I said, it was a little bit over $800. I don't know if I mentioned that yet. Just a little over $800 to have everything done. As far as the notes go, the transmission fluid was very dark, indicating severe clutch wear. That's not good. Upon filling procedure with splash shielding off, transmission making slight metallic noise. That's not good. Vehicle is equipped with a pedal tuner, which it is, the BMS pedal tuner, which affects sensor input to the TCM and typically increases clutch duty cycle considerably, which will contribute to clutch wear. Not good. Not something that I think we're going to move forward with, keeping that on. Now, in fact, I haven't used the pedal tuner now for a few months based on the advice that I got from my mechanic to no longer use that device. I haven't removed it yet, so he made a note here that he had previously advised me to remove it to avoid transmission damage. It's just something I haven't gotten around to, but I have been leaving it off. So I'm no longer using the pedal tuner because there are computers within the car that, adjust things, and it's possible that the pedal tuner is kind of causing some unnatural shift points and things like that that could be wearing things out based on my mechanic's advice. So, he's just warning that the transmission may suffer clutch failure in the future, which would require a transmission rebuild, which is not something I want to do. So again, we're going to disinstall the pedal tuner. We're going to keep to its stock, and we're going to do a test drive soon to see, once the car warms up, how it feels, how those shift points are. Is the shifting smoother? I'd like to put it into the sport mode and drive it and just see if I can notice a difference. But again, this was a service that BMW recommends you do between like 60 and 80,000 miles or so. I'm right there with about 75,000 miles on the vehicle. And so it was certainly time to have that transmission fluid flushed, new transmission fluid and filter put in. And I'm hoping that it makes for a smoother driving car. So if you guys have been following along this used BMW ownership journey, you know that this year, 2024, has already been a pretty expensive year with the BMW. We're only in April, and I think I've already put, I gotta say, it's been about $3,000 into the car, and I have inspection in May. So, you know, used BMW ownership, that's why it's here. That's why the channel's here. Want to keep you guys informed and transparent. I'm not a wrench. I can't do all the work myself. So if you're buying a used BMW and you're going to go to a BMW shop, whether it's BMW themselves or an independent mechanic that specializes in them, what is a normal person going to pay who doesn't wrench on cars? That's what this channel's about. And that gives you an idea of what you're in for buying a used BMW. Now, granted, some are more reliable than others. Some of this maintenance can be deferred longer if you're not planning on keeping the car. That's the problem with a lot of these cars that when you buy them used is that deferred maintenance, you know, people not replacing the valve cover gaskets, the oil housing gasket, the engine belt tensioners, and all these other things that I've done would often cause you to get a ticking time bomb. And that's what you want to try to avoid as much as possible. So I'm doing a lot of the maintenances. The next person who gets this car is in for a treat, because I took care of a lot of the known issues, which is where I'm always struggling about, do I get rid of the car or not? I feel like all I've done is set it up for the next person to have 50,000 miles of enjoyable driving without a lot of problems. So when you look at it in that sense, you're like, why don't I just keep it myself? So that's what I'm always toying with. But again, thank you guys for tuning in. We're going to go for a test drive, see how it feels, and I'll be back soon with the results. All right, guys, so I'm in the car now. We're doing the test drive. So I'm, you know, just getting going here. And I can tell one thing is that the downshift seems to be a little smoother, like the kickdown. So you notice that more when you're coming to a stop. When I'm just cruising along, it's hard to tell that there's really any difference from the transmission fluid change, so far at least, because the car, like I said, I just left really, so I'm just starting to drive. But when I have to slow down for like a stop sign or a stop light, the kickdown before was rough. When the car had to drop gears, it seemed like it would drop gears rough or even hang in the previous gear a little bit too long. So the RPMs would like kind of jump up and hang for a minute before it dropped. So again, I don't know, I'm not an expert whether that is signs of the transmission problem, but it does seem like the car is at least coming down from speed smoother than it was before. So I'll continue to drive a little more and come back with more assessments for you guys. And today I'm going to have some bonus coverage for you guys. I'm actually following my brother, the automotive junkie, in his Mustang, and we're heading to an open house at a place called the Car Vault, and that's in Berwyn. So the Car Vault is a storage facility, and I'll put some more information down below, put a link to their website. But we're headed there now, and we're going to see some cool cars. So I'll bring that to you as well as some bonus coverage.
continuing to test drive it. I'm at a light right now, and what I have noticed is at a light, the car seems to be a little more settled. You know, before I had the transmission fluid done, when I was at a light, it seemed to, you know, just maybe idle roughly, lurch forward a little bit. It just didn't feel settled. And now it feels like it's a little bit more settled in at a stop. Now I'm moving again, and I'm on a back road. It's a fairly windy road, so I don't know how many gears I'll be able to get through. You know, probably just first and second. But it does seem to be driving pretty smoothly. The downshifts are noticeably smoother. I mentioned that, where it's not hanging up when it's coming down the gears. It seems to be dropping gears smoother than it was. What I'd like to do is get to a road where I could open it up a little bit more and at least get into like third and fourth and see how the car does. But, you know, the biggest problem was at the lower end. It was, you know, first to second is where the shifts were rougher, and as you went up into the gears, it was not as much of a problem. So it does seem to have improved the lower gears, and so that's what I've noticed so far. I mean, it wasn't worth doing. I mean, what was I gonna, you know, it's a maintenance item, so the recommendation was that it get done based on the mileage and the transmission shifting hard, and if it prolongs the vehicle so I can enjoy it longer, then yeah, it definitely was worth doing. Again, if I was getting rid of the vehicle, not money I would have spent, but if I plan to keep it, I do plan on keeping it at least throughout the spring and summer. With it being a convertible, I want to enjoy some top-down driving, and it's coming into season, the vehicle. It's coming into its sweet spot. So, you know, definitely going to keep it for the spring and summer, barring any other major issues. And then, you know, reassess in the fall, is this a car I'm going to keep going forward, or do I need to make a change? So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you haven't already, please subscribe. It costs nothing to do. You push the button. You forgot you even did it. I don't even care if you watch the videos, but just subscribe. Hang out with me. If you're a BMW enthusiast, if you are a car enthusiast, you know, I go to a lot of car shows and different car events, and so I try to capture some really cool cars, and so that's something that people are here for. And with that, guys, I hope you have a great day. Talk to you soon. Peace.